Hey, it is 2021 and we are back, Prince and I, with Mzansi's MMA show. It's the place to be for comedians talking about all things MMA. And we've got exciting fights coming up this year in Jan. Firstly, we've got Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. And then we've also got Conor versus Poirier. But today we are discussing Calvin versus Max. And I just want to find out from you, Prince, firstly, how was your transition into 2021? And secondly, what do you think of Calvin Kattar?
All right, cool, man. Thank you, Coach. I think 2021 has gotten off to a weird start, as you know, for anyone watching from outside the country. In South Africa, we still are on our lockdown, adjusted third level. So we pretty much are still indoors, pretty much not going out, no beaches for us, no alcohol for us. These are all the things that are banned and restricted. Our coronavirus numbers are now at an all-time high. So 2021 has gotten off to a little bit of a dull start, but we try to keep good spirits and keep good motivation. So yeah, we are, and I'm cool. What I think of Calvin Kattar, very solid fighting style. You know what I've noticed about all his fights, he's very solid fighting style. You know, like last time we spoke about guys like El Kakui, you know, Tony Ferguson. We like the flashy things. John Jones, we like the whole flashy things. With Calvin Kattar, very solid fighting style. His hands are always up. His defense is always on point, and he comes through with some really crisp boxing. I'm talking about combinations to the head, combinations involving head and body, combinations involving body, head. He switches in a takedown every now and then. If the opponent puts him in a little bit of an uncomfortable position where he can't quite get his striking off, he is willing to grab a leg, grab an ankle, put you down on the ground temporarily. Once he does get you in a dangerous position, his ground and pound does lead to finishing. Other than that, I'd say good cardio, solid body structure. I don't think he's a easy fight for Max Holloway at all.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, he's on a bit of a tear as well. He had a very active 2020, which is why I think he's going to be why he got this opportunity to fight Max, who, let's face it, is the cream of the crop in that division. I agree with pretty much everything you say. He's just does the basics well, very good footwork, and you know, he's a tough guy for anyone. We've seen that he's got cardio. He can push the pace, you know, all the way through a 3-minute 3-round fight. That is. So it's not going to be one to be overlooked, definitely for Max.
Yeah. I find that I think like under normal circumstances, this is the kind of fight that Max Holloway would breeze through. You know, I think in his past, Max has probably faced similar kind of fighters. After he lost to Conor McGregor, he went on a long victorious tear where he even took out Jose Aldo twice. Frankie Edgar took out all of the above. So I think under normal circumstances, I see Max winning this one easily. However, as it would turn out in fight sports and in the UFC, a lot of the time, a lot of it has to do with momentum, right? So Max Holloway lost the fight against Dustin Poirier. For the first time, he lost in a long time. Then he came back to featherweight, and he fought, I think, was it Frankie Edgar he fought and won? And then after that, immediately had 2 losses to the current champion, Volkanovski. And I feel like when you get onto that losing type, once you go down that track of losing, once you choose that road, it's a very difficult road to get out of. I mean, we saw it recently when Tony Ferguson and Al Kakui lost for the first time in a long time to Justin Gaethje. Then it was very difficult for him after that to get back onto the winning streak. In fact, he has another loss immediately after that. So for Max Holloway to break his losing streak against Calvin Kattar is going to be a tough one. Calvin, like you said, is looking good. He's on a streak. And he looks solid. He doesn't look like he's planning to lose anytime soon. In order for Max to beat Calvin, he's going to have to put on the kind of performance that he put on against Brian Ortega. That's the kind of performance Max would have to come with. If he fights in any way the way forward against either of the two Volkanovski fights, then I see him losing against Calvin.
Okay, cool. So we've gone a little bit into some of the fight predictions. Do you want to just touch up any more on that? Firstly, who do you think is going to win this fight?
Well, Couch, you know, me and you, by tradition, we've got our favorites, and it's no secret that Max blessed Holloway. The best is blessed, right? There's no secret that we are Holloway fans. You know, Calvin Kattar could be a good fighter, but I've never heard you talk about Calvin Kattar while we're sitting around a braai or having a drink at all. What we have spoken about is Max Holloway over and over. Hawaii stand up over and over. So it's no secret. It's no secret that we want Max to win this fight. However, we both know that it's going to be a bit of a challenge for him. Like, what is he going to come out? Are we going to see the short hair Max Holloway, or are we going to see the long curly hair? I smoke too much weed, Max Holloway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Hairstyle makes a huge difference.
He's learning how to surf now as well. That's a mess.
This guy is surfing. This guy is out in the
He's
sun.
engaged.
Come on, man. He's engaged as a child. I mean, come on. He's doing everything wrong. Starting a family, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Someone that tough doesn't start a family. It's true, yeah. He doesn't look like the fucking the prison tough Max Holloway of old, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree. I mean, I love Max Holloway, and I love him because of that. The style of feeling the opponent out, very high fight IQ up in the octagon there. And then what he does is he starts pushing the pace in the later rounds. It's that championship rounds kind of stuff where he just starts putting it on you. So you saw in the fight against Pettis, that's what he did. They sort of exchanged for a while. And then in the later rounds, he really just started coming with volume and just wearing you down. I personally don't feel, and as far as my prediction goes, that for him to stand and trade with Calvin is the way forward. What he needs to do is he needs to start utilizing some of his other tools. He has got some pretty nice sweeps. He's got some nice, he's got a very nice, a dice choke. I think it's a standing dice choke. I feel that he will need to utilize more of those tools rather than just stand trade. I think he's good enough to sort of negate the striking, not really negate it, but sort of control it. But I think for him to stand in an all-out boxing match with Calvin would be a mistake. I feel that Max, because of the five rounds, I feel that Max will take it. Just also because of the cream of the opponents that he's fought. He's fought tougher guys than Calvin.
And he's fought tougher in a lot.
Yeah. So I do feel he's going to beat Calvin this time. But how wrong was I about Tony? How wrong were we about Tony?
Like I think you mentioned the right word when you speak about Max Holloway. When you speak about Max Holloway, you've got to use the word volume, isn't it? Like he's kind of like a radio. Like if you're going to speak about a radio, you've got to use the word volume at some point. And volume is what Max brings to the table. It's the ability to just let hands go consistently over and over and over. Many people have said it's not like Max has power punching. No, it's not even about that. It's just about the fact that he's consistently rattling off at your head, like a metronome. What's that thing called a metronome? Just consistently rattling off at your head. And it seems as if he picks up the pace in the later rounds. But actually what happens is the opponent slows down in the later rounds. And then Max does add a little bit more gloss to the shots, so they look a little bit more fancy, a little bit more quicker, but it's just that consistent volume that breaks you down over time. It's that volume that we did not see in the Volkanovski fight. I did not see the volume in I saw a lot of waiting. I saw a lot of repositioning, a lot of pausing. I didn't see the hands flying off as regularly as possible. Will Max do what you say he should do with the sweeps and staying away out of the boxing range? No, he probably won't. He's probably going to come out with a stock standard approach. Even in the Volkanovski fight, there were many times where I felt like he needed to change something in his approach, whether it is going in for a takedown or going in for some elbows or just or a spinning kick or just something different. But he didn't do that. He's still going for the volume approach. And unfortunately, if he can't out-volume the opponent, it seems like there is naturally a block. Naturally, there is a bit of a problem. I don't think Calvin is too different to Volkanovski. I think the two of them have more or less that same stock standard fighting style, but perfected over time. It's very standard, but it's pretty concise, it works. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this fight is nothing new for Max. It's nothing new. Calvin is nothing new for Max. However, I mean, the circumstances sure has changed, right?
Yeah.
Fight Island has not been kind to the Holloway family.
Big time. Yeah, I'll disagree with that slightly. Is the difference between Calvin and Volkanovski is the wrestling. Volkanovski is pushing a very strong wrestling game, which is why I think Max was a bit more hesitant in the fights with him. He didn't have that freedom to let go. So I think if Max is smart, and if the interview I watched, I'll put the link below as well. I watched an interview with him today where he was saying it's a mixed martial arts fight. So hopefully he's looking to incorporate some more mixed martial arts things. Okay, I think we talked enough about that. I want to ask you a little bit about what do you think of this flyweight? It's a featherweight or it's a featherweight?
Featherweight, yeah. It's featherweight, yeah, featherweight.
So what do you think about the division at the moment? Because the reason I ask is because to me, there are two major players. Actually, there's three, but there's two that are on our radar that haven't been fighting or active at all in a long time. And that is Yair Rodriguez and this guy. I'll just say his first name, Zabit.
Yeah, it's Namarichnipov or something like that. Yeah, true that. Do you know what the crazy thing about the year 2020 is? That the year 2020 has meant that many fighters have kind of disappeared. I don't know if you've noticed that, but a lot of them have gone off the radar almost completely. And it's almost like a whole new breed of guys. They've suddenly stepped in 2020 and made a name for themselves, on short notice almost. Guys like the Sabib, Meganamistripov. I wish we should learn that
Sorry,
name.
let me just.
But
Magomed Sharipov. Magomed Sharipov.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still getting it wrong. You're reading it and still you're getting it worse. Like when we didn't read it, we were close. Now you're even worse. Megarishny, McDonald's, Paul. So that guy, Megarishny, like he's completely off the radar in 2020, like totally gone. Yair Rodriguez. When was the last time we spoke about Yair Rodriguez? It must have been like in 2019 or something of the sort. Tell me, is the Brian Ortega is in lightweight, if I'm not mistaken? Am I right?
Yeah. So I've got Ortega's there. So I've
featherweight.
I've got the rankings here. So it's
and the Korean Zombie.
Zombie is not even the top 5. I just want to talk about the top 5.
Okay, cool.
Wait. Is Chen Sung Jung? Is that the Korean Zombie?
Yep.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? You're racist, right? I don't see zombies. So I'm like,
who the hell is this Chen Sung? I'm looking for nicknames.
Yeah.
Where's Blessed? Is Blessed on here? Yeah. There's no Blessed on this list.
This list is a joke.
I want nicknames.
I'm like, who's this Chang Sung Jung? I never heard of this man. Okay, so he's fifth. Okay.
Yeah, Zombie's a tough guy. Yes.
And
Zombie's a mad tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fought a ton load.
Yeah, he's tough. But
Ortega, he's a very tough guy to fight.
Ortega fucked him up, and that's what puts him behind Max. And the thing is, they're going to give Ortega the next title shot. So, I guess what happens then if apparently Yair dodged USADA 3 times. I watched the video about it.
What's up with that guy? What's wrong
I
with
think
him?
he's taking
What is he
steroids. I
taking?
mean, who you must watch this Chael Sonnen clip where it's like USADA gives you 3 times like to like report in and be like, hey, here's some whatever, right? They give you 3 chances, and all 3 times he was like not there. He left a note for them.
This guy's
He's out
hiding,
to buy milk.
coming out with a face mask. I'm Chen Son Jung. No, you're not. This guy's dodging here like he owes you Sada money. All he owes him is a blood sample. Come on, man. They just want a blood sample. They're not asking for much. This guy's dodging.
So now he's like MIA because USADA is after him, which is dodgy as fuck. So apparently, because of that 3 times they dodged him, he's like MIA for 9 months.
Oh, he's a mad suspect right now.
Yeah,
he's mad suspect.
So it's not like a ban. It's just like, I think it's just like, you can't even see us for 3 months. So it's like a relationship where things go bad. So now they're on a break. You know what I'm saying?
It's a timeout. They're having a timeout.
Timeout.
Come back when you're ready, bro.
Yeah. I think when you're ready to see me.
Yeah, just all like call us, same number. But I think they should go look at TJ Dillashaw's house. He's hiding at TJ's house.
Probably.
What y'all doing there with those pictos? They're doing pictos at TJ's house.
Yeah. So that division's been stagnant. There were only, as far as I recall, there were only 2 fights in it last year that I can recall.
Look, all I can say is the other divisions are getting so hot right now, right? Like there was a time period when the welterweight it was like the division. Now it seems like the lightweight division is super popping. The light heavyweight, the middleweight division is super popping, and it seems like the heavyweight division is also starting to find some personality. You know, starting to find some voice. So unfortunately, the featherweights, maybe things have fallen off a little bit, and also, I mean, the blessed era was really like the dopest era after the whole McGregor era. The Aldo era was good. There was the McGregor era, and then now it's the blessed era. And it feels like the Volkanovski era is not as exciting, is it?
Yeah, I don't feel it. Look, I think it's just because those 2 fights were so close, so they had to play it back. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just like 2 boring fights where we didn't see Max shine like we used to. And it was the dethroning of a beloved champ. So it was like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
And now
it was like watching Woodley versus Thompson.
Yeah.
2 times.
Wasn't that Don't say things you can't take back now, bro.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll take that off.
Personally, I feel like if Max beats Calvin, he's probably not going to get a title shot. Then yes, Ortega's probably going to get that title shot. However, if Kattar beats Max, then there's a good chance that Calvin Kattar is probably in line for the next title shot. He might even sneak in ahead of Ortega. You don't know, these things normally work out in such a weird way. He might even sneak in ahead because beating Max Holloway is a bigger victory than beating the Korean zombie.
It is, big time. So, look, I think you're right. I mean, the state of the division is such that it's getting almost swept under the rug. You know what I mean? It's sad though, because 2 of the biggest names to me and exciting fighters. I mean, Zabid, I don't know. I mean, he's very technical. It's almost like watching a demo when you watch him fight, you know? It's like, when you go and watch those like lame martial, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to do this. People rave about him, but I find him a little bit like, especially his last fight. Like apparently he refused to fight 5 rounds. He was like, I don't think I can do 5 rounds. Who the fuck says that?
I think I haven't seen enough of him. Yes, I've seen him be flashy. I've seen him be cool, but I've seen him struggle against who's little evil Jeremy Stevens, I think it was, right? He fought against Jeremy Stevens, and in that fight, I thought Jeremy was really coming after him. I thought he was doing a lot of dodging, a lot of slipping, a lot of moving away, a lot of point scoring type fighting. But I think he was avoiding a real fight with Jeremy, and I feel like tests like those is what I need to see more of before I can put you in my personal top 5 even.
Yeah. And Yair, I quite like Yair. I mean, I like him because of the unorthodox striking, and I think
The flash,
he's got some nice decisive wins like that. So the last thing I remember Yair doing was that amazing upward elbow that took out Zombie. Yeah, and that was sick. That was a dope fight. That was a very good fight.
Don't forget about the fact that he landed that elbow with like a split second to spare in the fight.
Yeah, that was.
As the horn went bang, bang. Yeah.
It was like shooting the 3-pointer. Like the ball is
right at the end. Yeah, they should have slowed down the elbow. Like they should have showed like Zombie even looking at it. No. And Joe Rogan in the background. Oh my god! This is how all UFC fighters, commentators react. Oh! Whoa! They all do that. Pretty excited for the fight.
I'm looking forward. I always look forward to seeing Max fight. So I think it could be like I think it's going to be a chess match. Actually, I think it's going to be a nice, real tough chess match. Max is going to
involving blood.
Pull out all the stops, and it'll be a nice warm up.
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. If Max Holloway loses, is it time to hang up the gloves?
I feel like this is the same conversation with Tony. Yeah?
I think we're having this conversation about many fighters now. After the UFC announced that they're cutting fighters, now every time someone loses, it's like, well, because the UFC said they need to cut 50 to 60 fighters, I think. So I'm saying is when guys like this lose for the 4th time in the space of 24 months, is it time to hang up the gloves, or do you come back for another rodeo? How does this work now? Well, do we want to see Max start losing like BJ Penn? Oh,
no,
you know what I mean?
I don't. I think what they try and do with people like Tony and Max, or maybe Tony now, right, is they talk about like a gatekeeper fighter, right? So they have Tony as like a good guy that tests the younger guys. Yeah. Which it can be devastating. Because remember Chuck Liddell? Do you remember Chuck Liddell?
Yeah, old school.
He was like that for a bit. And he caught a couple heavy beatings.
And people knocked him out. People knocked him out
so
badly,
bad,
though.
Like so bad. Which I think is kind of
even
cool.
Rashad Evans.
It's fighting, right? It's fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, older man, here's this young stud that's like got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying?
He's hitting you like with a fresh punch. Those punches are so fresh when they land, but they've never been used before. Like, this is brand new. Bam! You're the first one.
Their hands haven't even touched that much vagina in their lives, bro.
None of these guys are canning you out, shit. Nah, dude. So, unfortunately, I think, Max will probably... I don't want him to be a gatekeeper fighter. The best gatekeeper fighter I know is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, because he keeps that gate properly.
Yes.
You're not coming through that gate. Like, so many guys have tried to walk through that Wonderboy gate, and they all get turned back. And he's like, yo, man, use the gate on the side.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. They can't just discard Tony and Max like that. They can't just be like, okay, they're going to give them three gatekeeper fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if they survive those gatekeeper fights, then maybe they get one more preliminary shot to the belt, and then go for the belt.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't think the UFC can, like, those are like legendary names. You know what I'm saying?
You can't just be like, they've done a lot. Yeah, they've done a lot for the sport. And I, as a fan of both, I can't be like, I won't abide that. I'll be sending some serious words to Dana White. You'll be tweeting some harsh, but strongly worded tweets.
I think that's us.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, and thank you, guys. We look forward to giving you a lot more content this year. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good one, and we'll be joining you soon for McGregor versus Poirier.